name is Patrick Leblond. I'm a professor of public and international affairs at the University of Ottawa. I'm also the secretary-treasurer of XSC. My field of expertise is numerous, but mainly it deals with economic policy making, the politics of economic policy making in Europe, in Canada, and in Canada EU relations, especially as it pertains to trade, but also finance. I was attracted to the field of European studies in a way by accident. A friend of mine, when I was looking for a master's program, sent me this brochure of a new Master of European Affairs that had been created by the University of Lund in Sweden. It was a multidisciplinary program in law, economics, business, and politics. And it was free at the time, and it was taught in English. It was brand new, and someone said, well, why don't you apply and come? I actually had funding to do a master's program, so I thought, Sweden, I've never been there, let's go to Sweden. And it was a great program. It was in 1994, so just when Sweden became a member, along with Austria and Finland of the European Union. So it was a very exciting time. It was also the time of Maastricht that had just been signed, so the completion of the single market, the creation of a single currency. So the mid-1990s, of course, were very, very exciting moments in Europe, also as today, stressful. So this program was a one-year program where we studied Europe and the EU from all its different dimensions. And from there I was hooked. I wanted to know more. I wanted to continue studying the EU and Europe. And then I continued doing with a master's, looking at European monetary integration. And then after that, a PhD, which again continued looking at financial regulation and monetary integration in Europe and other places. But I've continued, in a way, my interest with Europe ever since. So it's been more than 20 years now. People I met at conferences, and I would say that's probably the most important, is developing a network, is going to conferences like this XSC Biennial Conference where you meet your peers. And when I came back from Europe or even from the US after my PhD, I was very excited to see that there was a very dynamic European studies network, if you want, of scholars in Canada. And that's important. You don't want to be alone in your own little world. Yeah, maybe your area of expertise, your colleagues may not be near you, but nevertheless, if you're studying Europe, it's always nice to know that you have colleagues all across the country in Canada that are interested in this, that there are conferences going on, and I've benefited from that, where often I've been invited either to a conference or to be part of a paper or an edited volume, and that has helped my career very much, and it has made that I've continued working on Europe, because very quickly if you come back to Canada and you're alone and you start looking maybe at other things around you, because academia is still a very human notion, even if a lot of the work and the thinking that we do is we do it on a lone basis. We're very much influenced by what others are doing, and in that sense, I must say that for me, the interest has always been there, but for professional reasons in terms of publications and all that, I could easily have drifted to more, being focused on Canada or Canada-US, because that's really what most people talk about here in Canada. But the fact that there's been that community of scholars has helped me continue publishing in order, I want to attend the conference, so I'll write up a paper, and that's helped me develop as an EU scholar in Canada, and obviously, of course, keeping links with Europe and European-based scholars and attending conferences in Europe has helped that. But if I had not had that base here, I'm not sure that I would, have continued as much being part of this community of, European or scholars who study Europe and the EU.